We are going to talk to you today about how to capture someone's attention. So let's go for it. How do
how to capture somebody's attention? How do you usually capture? Like, how do people generally think that they should capture someone's attention?
It's the eyes. The eyes have it. That is where that little thing. Now, some of you won't know about these sayings that we do, but that one is definitely it. So what do? We talked previously about texting. Can you capture someone's attention from texting? You absolutely can. It's the way that you speak, the energy comes across. So we're going to intermingle all this stuff about the energy of things, what you're putting out there, and how to do it in a way that people will get the true you and not what's fake.
I think that would probably be my biggest lesson when I've been trying to get attention, or when I've been trying to be somebody else's idea of who I should be. That's when nothing came to me, because it wasn't authenticity that I was bringing to the table. So I think the number one way to get someone else's attention is just own it.
Right, gotta own that. There are people in the world, and one of my very favorite icons of all time is Marilyn Monroe. That woman had it.
Owned it.
She learned it, she practiced it, and she literally, it became a part of her. So she embraced that whole thing of her sensuality, her sexuality, the way that she would speak, the ups and downs. But I have another icon that I love, Jackie Onassis. Now that might seem like, oh, that's kind of broad, but I remember reading quotes about her that when she was in a room, she was so captivating. And when she spoke to you, you felt like you were the only person in the room. She was gracious and listened and owned her grace. So everybody has their little package of what they do to attract what you're saying, Dr. Jane, and that is the authenticity of you. So if you saw us in a room, the way that she's going to attract, we could attract the same people. It's just going to be the way that she is herself toward that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I've been around, I've been in the room with some famous people, some world leaders. One thing that I've noticed about, I've had the pleasure of meeting some former presidents, and regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, if you're ever able to be in the same room with or converse with former US President Bill Clinton, he's like that, like what you just described. Wherever you land politically, he really invests in eye contact. You can tell that he's invested in listening, but he also knows what he believes and he knows who he is. And so he brings that to the table as well. And so you feel as though you've been he's invested in you with that eye contact, but then you also have a piece of who he is in his own authenticity. And so that's a huge lesson. And also one thing that I love about you, Jade, and your authenticity that you bring is that no matter what setting you're in, because you honestly they broke the mold with Jade, you guys. If you're going to go look for another Jade, sorry, you have one, she's right here. This is her. But it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the middle of a shopping mall or on stage accepting an award, and you're exactly the same person. You just might have on better shoes on stage. But it's that consistency.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you guys, it took me many years to embrace my sensuality and sexuality because of my pretty tenuous background of growing up. So I didn't grow up with a really good self-esteem. I had to practice it. So I'm going to give you something that really, really helped me. And because we've talked about this, Dr. Jane and I, and we want to honestly include some little activities that you guys can do to bring about what will assist you in your life. And this is what a lot of people have heard this, but I'm telling you, this works. Tried and true. And that is mirror work. Remember, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
Open
And
up the comments and type that in so you'll remember it.
yeah,
Mirror work.
really, because what happened is that when I learned this years and years ago, I practiced it kind of, and then I really went after it because I thought, I don't know why I can't attract guys. What's wrong with me? I don't know what's wrong. Okay, you know me, I'm gonna be frank. My daughter called me a shithead attractor. That is what she called me. And, and I'm like, that's rude. And she said, Mom, every guy you attract in is a shithead. You are a shithead attractor. Now that comes from a teenager. Can you not tell? And mind you, do you not think that we don't have an open relationship, my daughter and I? Yes. Did I take the feedback? I actually did. Yes, it did bend my feelers down.
You got to take feedback. It's all a gift.
I did. So I thought, okay, so I went through my little books, what to do, and I got back on, because Louise Hay believes in, mirror work. Okay, so I went to the mirror, and for real, 100 plus times a day, I am beautiful, nodding my head. Here's the kinesiology thing we're talking about before, this piece, this up and down piece, because when you start doing that and you're saying, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, what happens is your mind goes because it's not congruent. You can tell your body's like, I don't know if I believe that one. Pretty soon after doing it so many times, you can feel like everything gets grounded in you because you really have reprogrammed your little brain up there. And I did that, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how long. And okay, Cliff Note story, Jade's got one. So I still haven't attracted the guy, right? I'm still after, so I'm just saying, okay, well, maybe it's not my gig. She's like laughing. Remember the boob story? We're telling the boob story. Okay, so I'm going to refer to the boob story. So I was in the plane on the way to the boob story that hadn't happened yet. And there was this gentleman sitting next to me, and people automatically will say, well, what do you do? Because they can feel it. I said, I'm a healer. Oh, can you help me? I did a process. I do processes with people right on the plane a lot of times. So I was doing a process, and he got healed like that. Like I was like shocked myself, but anything can happen in a plane, right? So then, because that's my belief, since that big old piece of metal can't really fly, we pretend it is, so it does, quantum physics. So I said, now can you do something for me? Okay, Scarlett O'Hara. And then, for those of you who know, and he said, yeah, and I said, I ask guys all this time because I want to know, is there something about me that might be not coming out that could attract a guy because you're a really great guy? And mind you, his girlfriend was one of the top people in Amazon too, by the way, you guys. I mean, he said, well, first and foremost, you are reeking of pheromones. I said, I said, I am? And he said, yeah. And if I didn't have a girlfriend, and I didn't even know I was reeking of my pheromones. I was just being me. I was being me. Was I being a little bit of like, yeah, I was being a little bit of Marilyn, but I embraced it. It was my sensuality because I was really being vulnerable. Vulnerable doesn't mean stand out in the middle, be naked, and everybody laughs. It means
real.
Ask. And he said, no, you absolutely have it. Believe me. It's really hard for me to like push over. And I wasn't pushing into him, you guys. I was being myself.
But it's that you own it so much that I believe that because you just are this huge energy when you come into a space. And whether people believe in that or not, they're going to feel it because it's real and it's true. And your subconscious and superconscious understands that and picks up on those things. I mean, I almost think that for people most people are not as authentic as you are, nowhere close. And so I think that maybe it could be intimidating.
It can be intimidating, but at the same time, I do what I can to kind of back off. And so what I want to reiterate, you guys, is first of all, our number one thing just for you is go to the mirror. That was so powerful for me. I did it for so many years. Yeah. Now I go to the mirror for that and other things. But that thing is, mirrors are portals. It's going to go in there and it's going to come back into you. So definitely do that. I encourage like little younger girls to do stuff like that. And I feel that the more you give out of your loving self, really, that really will expand your authenticity. So,
Absolutely.
you know, when I worked with, I've got the privilege of being with Dr. Jane's girls, and I'm just me with them. And little girls respond to that because it's not that they're looking up in you and say, I want to be like you, but they can feel that magic of, oh my God, this person really accepts me. And even more than that, this person loves me. They don't even know who I am. They love me. They like who I am inside. And it helps them to burst open and become even more of themselves. Remember, we're always planting seeds of love.
Always.
That's true authenticity. So I would say to that, what do you do, Dr. Jane? How do you do it? Because your way of doing it is different than my way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when I'm working with kids, the feedback that I've gotten from parents is that they don't know how I've gotten the kid to open up and tell me these things. But I mean, it's the fact that I don't talk to little kids any differently than I would you, and they're not used to getting talked with as though they're intelligent. And so that's different. And so they like me because I'm giving them respect and I'm speaking to them as an equal and not as, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so that, you know, just with kids, that they really are as intelligent as we are or more intelligent than we are. We have to recognize that and just understand that having knowledge doesn't mean intelligence. It's just knowledge. But when it comes to attracting people, you know, honestly, we've clearly authenticity is a big thing. You know, I said eye contact and really listening. You said listening as well is a really big thing when you were talking about Jackie O, you know, just owning who you are. But I also think, and you touched on this a little bit, being aware your personal or anybody's personal areas where you're self-conscious, where you're not confident, that is what's going to come out. And so, you know, if you're trying to attract someone of the opposite sex or whatever, and you think that you have a bad haircut, or you think that these pants make your butt look big, and you go out with that energy,
true,
you're not going to be attractive, because that doubt that you are focusing on, you know, oh, gee, this guy's really great, I hope he doesn't notice I have a big zit on my chin. Like, so the big zit on my chin is the headline because you're focusing on that. And so where you focus is the main energy you're going to project out. And so be really, really aware of your insecurities. Take a breath. And then, you know, type this into the comments if you're taking notes. And I really always encourage everybody to take notes if you want to benefit from stuff, because otherwise the knowledge will just kind of evaporate, just flit away. But you need to know what your insecurities are, and then write them down and take a look back and look at them. Let's say, you know, that your insecurity is my butt looks big. Okay, fine. Look at it and say, is this my truth? Is this what I want to be my truth? And then write your new truth and then live that energy. And when you're living that energy, that positive truth that you want to embody, that's the energy that's out there. And if it's positive and forward moving and it makes you feel good, you're going to pull things towards you that make you feel good.
Great. Now, and what we talked about at the top of this was, you know, how do we attract people? So we're giving you some little ways of how you can attract what you want. And what came to me, again, this way right now, is I give this assignment to people at times. And that is, aside of the mirror work, it depends who I'm working with, but I'll literally give almost everybody that one because it's very practical. Right. It's very easy. Do it at night, do it in the morning, because then you're ending your day, you're starting your day psychologically, spiritually, super subconsciously, subconscious, all going in. The second thing you can do is, this is a great task if you're willing to do it. You get a little paper pad or whatever. Don't make it too giant or you'll be there forever, but a regular pad, and well, maybe a little bigger than that. So more
I just always have this. I take notes during our videos. If you guys ever see me looking down, I'm like,
this size. Okay, so when you do that, then what you want to do is take a pen or a pencil And with the opposite hand that you write, I am pretty. And use more of the littler girl words or the littler boy words or whatever, because that's what you heard growing up. And I guarantee you, there was a girl that came to me that she's 20 something, she's my apprentice right now. And she said, you know, I'm feeling really different about myself. Is it because of that, what you're making me do? I said, well, I'm not making you. I asked you and you're doing it. So it's a good contract. And yes, it is working. She said her writing's getting better because what's happening is she's teaching the other part of her brain so that they come together again. And it's really, it's magnifying her authenticity. She's feeling better about herself. Here's the caveat. This is really a gift to her. She had autoimmune disease, preventing her from being her authentic self because it's all fear-based. Between that and some other things that we're doing essential oils and we're doing, healings and stuff. She's no longer has that. And it's lupus. Okay, you guys. So it's real big, but because she's doing mind, body, spirit things, because we're eating clean as well, all of these things, we're incorporating them better. First of all, do get your body where you want, because that in itself, it doesn't matter. I'm a very petite person. Dr. Jane is tall and she's got a completely different body type. I've got girls, they say, I'm so big, I'm never gonna get small. I said, you have a different bone structure. My daughter I talk about, she's got a completely different body type. She's very wide in the back and she can't get it little, and it's just how she's made. So we all are embracing, as you know, we've been practicing this for a long time now, embracing our body type. And when you eat clean, what happens is the body starts shedding it where it needs to shed, because this same girl said, I'm losing my fat. I said, because you were never meant to have such a big bottom, because her body eating clean is going down to where she really needs to be, right, so that she can receive everything that she is receiving. Yeah. So, do everything in a very good way for yourself and appreciate yourself. That's a very good word. Actually, it's another key word. Appreciate what you do. At night, I tell people, okay, the gratitude list, right? So you must do that, you guys. All these little things we're giving you are keys. Yes, you hear them. Yes, yes, yes. And do you practice them? How much?
And consistently.
Oh, yeah. You got.
With what consistency do you practice them? Because it takes consistency. Right. Yeah.
Yes. And then if you need,
I just had a realization, which maybe everybody else is like, yeah, duh. But 100% of what we're telling people is that in order to attract, it doesn't have anything to do with what's out there. It's all what's in here.
It is. It is.
It's all internal. So go within.
I tell people this, if you would do one thing, the mirror work, of course, some of this other mind stuff, that's to help this little teeny thing in the thing. But if you do one thing, we were given this biological thing here. If we would really take care of it, automatically we would be authentic in the world. And we would do good things. But always appreciate yourself, even when you're mad. It's like, oh, I got
especially when you are. Yeah. That's all the time that we have, but thank you, Jade. This is awesome.
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for this today.
And thanks to everybody for watching. Before you go, can you give us a thumbs up if this has been of help to you? I know that it has. So go ahead and just hit that thumbs up now. The subscribe button and the bell so you'll know the next time that we drop a video to help you be happier and live a life with more success and lower stress.